Welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to fix about 3 of our problems. This I think will be the shortest video of all. I just want to specifically fix some of our problems we currently have. Now, in our previous episode, we worked on the edit functionality and it was really fun. What I expect from you is that to go ahead and work on these other ones and add the edit functionality. Okay, just try, and at least that's the only way you can learn. Try to see that you can update and you can render these things correctly. And with this, we still have one problem, but I think we'll sort it later on. But we have the update working, but one problem we have is that after the update, sometimes it does not update in time. Some it updates in time, like this one. You can see test category updated, but sometimes you update and it doesn't actually update in time. Like you have to first manually refresh. We look at that problem in later on. Right now we can first leave like this. Let me see if I just can see this. If you write like very fast, you can see somehow it is right now updating. Let me just see, reload. Okay, updated maybe twice. Save. Okay, so far it's not a big problem. I don't know what is the factor determining it to update or not to update in time, but we are still having that. So I expect you to go ahead and do that on some of these ones. Maybe item I think we'll do it together, but for categories, brands, units, warehouse, and supplier, you can also leave out the inventory. I will make a special video for inventory and how it is going to be affecting all these other ones. Okay, so you can just leave out the inventory. We'll look at that, and then the supplier, work on the supplier. Okay, I don't know if I updated the supplier, I'm not sure. Let me see if the supplier, yeah, I think the supplier is working. Okay, you can just go ahead and just work on these. You can see here like it did not update in time. Let me just refresh. So you can see updated. This is the problem I was talking about. Okay, this is the problem I was talking about. Sometimes it doesn't update in time, but we look at that, how to fix that in a near future. Now the specific problem I want to look into this video is one to do with how we are rendering the table. Now if you want to see this problem, let's go back to units. Okay, I think it was units. No, I think it's brands. If you check on the brands, we still have this problem of time. Okay, we want to be able to render the dates very well, not using this one. Okay, and that one poses a problem, more especially on the current logic we are having. If I just pull out, I'm just going to close all these things I have open. Let me just close these ones. I'm just going to specifically go to components and look at our data table. So if you look at our data table right now, this is the logic. Okay, we're having all the columns and we just get the item at the column name. This is really cool, but now this is generalizing the whole format. Like here we are not having this. We have to check for this and then we have to convert it. That is one problem. If you want to see the second problem, go back to the items. Okay, so in the items we want to show the image. Okay, we want to show the image here. In the first, we have to have like the image URL, and then we have the image, then we have title. That is the second problem. The third one, to see it is that if we just go ahead and fetch here items, okay, if we fetch items, you will see that items, they come with a category. Okay, so for instance, if I want to see the category title, this one, you can see this is an object, so the category title is nested inside this one. So we have to adjust our table, one, to accommodate dates, that is one, two, to accommodate images, and three, to accommodate nested column names. Okay, it has to accommodate nested column names. Okay, so I was just like looking at this problem, and I just want you to take you what I was thinking and how we're going to do it. Okay, so you are going to see here in this stuff here. Okay, so the first logic is to look at this advanced let me scroll here for a second. Okay, so this is the thing. So we are going to look at advanced data logic, data table logic, to cater for the dates first and the image. Okay, so if you think about it, if you look at our logic currently, we are only just generalizing the columns. Okay, so we have to reach at a point we actually first check this column, like we check the format of this column. It is what is this column, and because specifically for dates, it is the, if you look at the dates, in the units, actually it is in the brands, I guess. If you check out the dates in the brands, you check that it is only the created art and updated art. Okay, so we can just look for these. We can specifically look for these special these two keywords, the created art and updated art. And if we get these ones, we first actually convert them to the normal date. So to do that, we can just check for the date and the image, and we know that for the image, it is actually stored under image URL. So what we make sure, whether you are going to upload the image on the category, whether you are going to upload the image on the supplier, make sure that the key is named as image URL. And this is for simplicity and for the easy management of your database. Okay, because if you are naming them random keys, like you have supplier image, then this one you have item image, then this one you have category image, you might have to consider for so many keys. So instead, if you generalize the name and you call it image URL, and it is inside a special module like item or category, it still works very well, because it will be category and then you access its image URL. And this one will help us in the data in the table, because we'll just consider and check for the column type. Okay, so just look at how we are going to handle this logic. So the logic is going to be, here we have the normal way we loop through the columns, and then when we reach here on the column, you see I've commented out the original one and I have this new one. Okay, so in the new one, what do? I have here, we are mapping through the columns, and I get a single column name, of course, and then inside here I first actually check. Okay, I first actually check what is this column name. So if the column name is equal image URL, I simply actually want to put the image, I want to render the image. Okay, and then else, this one means else, I'm just going to check. Okay, and by the way, this is else if, this one, else if column name is equal created art, or column name is equal to updated art. If this is true, then you saw new date, and of course you pass in this date, which is item column name, which is actually this this one of these ones, and get to local date string. This one is for the one which converts it into the normal time. Okay, ls just put the column name just like this. So this one will sort the problem of the dates and the problem of the image. So if I just copy this and let me just transform into this one now, if I check here, okay, I have now commented this one out. Okay, now, and I'm mapping through the columns now as usual, but this time I'm first making the first check to make sure if the column is image URL, then I go ahead and I render the image. And by the way, you could still use the image. I'm just using this one, this normal image, but you can use the image of Next.js. Okay, so now if I go ahead now and I re-render the brands, let's just go ahead and refresh. Okay, I think it is refreshing, and you can see now our dates are right now so much readable, and it's just because we are checking for the created art and updated art, and if these they are there, then we go ahead, we first get the date and we convert it into the normal date using to local date string method of JavaScript dates. Now next is, if you just go now, we check the images. Let's go to these items, and I'm just going to add the column of image URL. So I'm just going to go to the inventory items. I'm just going to go to the page, okay, where we are sending the columns. So I'm just going to go here as the first column. I'm going to send the image URL, okay, column. I'm going to send the image URL column. If I do that, and I want it to be first here. So if I do that, let's see, it is going to, and we have our images. Okay, so this is really, really cool. We have this sort of dynamic table which can handle images, it can handle right now dates. Okay, so now the last thing I want it to handle is the concept of the nested title, the nested columns, and the nested column, I'm meaning if you go here in this one, we have, for instance, suppliers. So for instance, you might just want to get a supplier, the name of the supplier. You can see here we have the warehouse ID, unit ID, we have the supplier ID. You might actually not interested in the supplier ID, but you are interested in the table of the actual supplier. Okay, now to handle that, we have to look at this kind of nesting. Okay, and how we handled this in the fetch, you remember that in the API, when we are fetching for the item, here, you remember that we used the include. So if you remember this, the gate, we remember that we actually got find many. We first did the order by, and then we actually included. Okay, you can include the supplier, you can include all the stuff you want. Okay, if you wanted the supplier, you could add the supplier here just like this. Okay, you can add the supplier, and this key we add here is exact key that you have in your schema. Okay, so if you check the item, you see that we have the category. So this is the key you pass, the category. If you scroll down, you see that you have also for the supplier. Okay, so when you're just passing in the route here, make sure you pass in this key. If I do that and I go and refresh this site, now I will have actually all the supplier information. So you can say I have the category, then down here you have the supplier, all the details. Okay, so we might be interested, for instance, in the supplier title. or the supplier phone number. Okay, and in this case we'll be having a nested column. Okay, for instance, it might be category dot title, or it might be supplier dot email. Okay, as simple as that. Or it can be supplier dot contact person. Okay, so we might just need one of these ones to include them in our table. So let's look at how would we handle that. Now this is more somehow advanced. I'm going to try to break it down the way I think you can understand it. Now if I just scroll down to you can see I have these nested columns, but I'm just going to first take you to this logic. Okay, so assuming that you have this, I want to break down the nested column logic. Now if you want to have the nested, and the example is, suppose we have an item and it has something like this. It has the IDs, title, description, but it has this nested thing. Okay, and what I want to access from this is the category dot title. Okay, like I want to get the category title, and if I was to pass this, would pass it in this format. Okay, the column would be passed as something like this: category dot title. Okay, because I want to go to the category and I grab the title. This would be the easy way to pass in that column. Okay, now the first thing is we are going to first break this column, because it comes when it is just like this. Okay, so the column itself, if I'm just going to put here something else, I can just say column name is equal to something like this. Okay, so this is the column name right now, this one. So the column name is going to be category dot title. Now first of all, I would first check for this: does the column name include a dot? Because if it includes the dot, it tells me that this is an object. Okay, so column name dot includes dot. This, if it is true, it contains a dot. This means that it's an object. It's an object. Okay, I would understand that this is an object. Therefore, the first thing I do is I split it. So I use this split JavaScript method, array method, to split. So if you split, the split is used to convert. If you check what the split method does, the split method is for converting a string into an array using a separator. So right now the separator we are using is a dot. So it will convert this column name into an array of two items, the category and the title, separating them on this separator, which is a dot. So that means if you do column dot split at a dot, you will have something like category and title in an array. Now you can we can reduce this into one thing. Okay, the only way you can reduce this, we can perform a reduce, and this is a very specific way, a very unique way of using a reduce. After making some research, I had to come to this conclusion of you have to use a reduce chain it onto this column dot split. So if you just chain into this one, you actually have like the object, which is the item, and then the key you want to use, and then you reduce this into object at key, and then also the item, the initial one is the item. Now if you look at this, it will actually turn into something like this: the item, which is the object, okay, and then category, which is actually the key, okay, which is the key, and then you now access this title. Okay, so if you just go down now, if you go down, or if you have to look it in action actually, so just come back here. Okay, I would come back here. So this is the now I would first check for the column if the column dot includes dot. If this is true, okay, if the column name contains a dot, it's a nested object, okay, and then therefore access the nested key using the reduce. Okay, you can access the nested key using the reduce by saying column dot split. This one gets it into an array, and then we perform a reduce onto that array to actually access the nested key. Okay, and now you can see from this one will help us to access the nested key value, and then we go ahead. Remember, this is an if statement, and then you say else if. And how do I know it is else if? Is because I'm having here again another question mark. So else if the column name is created at or it is updated at, go ahead and convert the date into a more readable format, and you use the new date. This one I'd explain this. Then next is if the column name is image, then we go ahead and then we handle the image. Okay, otherwise display the column the way it is, the normal way. I'm just going now to transform into this, so just copy that. I'm just going to go back to the data table. I'm just going to update it into this new one. Okay, and I've put the comments to help you understand this logic. Okay, and we'll be using some of these components in our next projects. Okay, so, and this is the beauty of building stuff, because you meet the concepts and then you just store that code. Okay, and I will also show you how we are going to keep our components. I think at some point we need just to build a UI for keeping these components for easy accessibility. Okay, but for now we have this logic. Let's test it out. Okay, so to test this out, I'm just going to go back to the at this one. Now we have the image. If I just first go and check if this still works exactly the way it's supposed to, if I refresh, okay, you still see that I have the image rendered. So instead of the selling price, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and add one key, which is the category title. Okay, so to add the category title, I would simply say add category. Okay, now when I put this category key, what I mean is this, we know we want to get the category, and then we access the title on the category, just like this. So when you pass in category the title, it will automatically understand you want actually to access the nested key. And you can see here I have the category title. Now this one, I don't know how to manipulate this column, like to rename it very well, but for now let's just leave it like this, category title. Okay, and you can see I have this the font updated twice. Of course, this is what we're just like doing in the other side in the categories, but we have this stuff looking so damn fine. I just love this, guys. The fact that we're using the same exact table, and this table is handling the table is handling both the titles, and it is still handling the nested keys, is handling the dates. I just simply love this. Okay, I love this, and I think you also love it. Okay, I think you also just simply love it. Okay, if I check the brands, you see that the brands, the dates are displaying really nicely, and this gives us to have a very dynamic table that is highly reusable. Okay, so this table, we are going to be using it in other projects. Okay, and we'll add it, even take it more step further, where we'll be having like the filtering and all kind of stuff. Now, just in case you have any suggestions of how you want us to implement certain feature, or you have gotten a better idea of how we can implement a certain feature, you can simply comment. I like the comments, guys. I like the guys who are very active. Okay, I like the guys who are very active. So, and this due to the comments that came up in some of these videos, it actually activated me to open up the Discord for you guys. So we have a Discord specifically. I don't know if I can open this. I can just go to, I don't know, I can just go here. Actually, I have it here, one more link. I'm just going to go here onto the Discord. I just want to see this Discord. I'm just going to click this. So I have this Discord. You can access the link. I will be leaving the link some in the video description. If you have any questions or any errors, okay, you can see here it will be an invite. Okay, it will be an invite. I don't know if necessarily I need to go through an invite. Okay, just like see what will happen if I go through an invite. Like it's like interesting, like inviting myself. And what I'm just saying is that you can just come and check the link here. I'll also be leaving it in the video description. You can just go here, and guys, we have guys in here. I had not checked. I just like the stuff here is going on really well. I can see Uncle Moses. Glad to have you here too. How was your night? And okay, night was chill. I see here Clyde. I like this. Yeah, so just in case you have any challenges, just come into this chat in the Discord, and you can simply show us what your problem is. Like you can send the screenshot of your error you are having. And by the way, guys, understand that the error, you have to describe it very well. Take necessary screenshots. Okay, take the first screenshot of the error you are getting. Take the screenshot of the code that is causing that error, so that we actually clearly get to understand your problem very well. Okay, and then there we can start from there. Okay, so yeah, I think that is I think that would be the best stuff to do. Okay, so just simply do that. Okay, simply use the Discord. I created it specifically for you guys to ask the questions, and more stuff are coming because I actually intend to build an extensive community. Okay, and I think we will also build that community together on YouTube. We just come and we build the community where people can sign up, can actually have more capacity than this one. This one is simply for chatting and maybe having the problem, but I think we need to build an extensive community, an extensive community whereby people can filter jobs, can do more things than only this. Okay, so I look forward to that, and that's what basically I wanted to cover in this short period. I just wanted to show you how we can dynamically do that. Now for the item itself, we haven't done the editing. Okay, I haven't done the update for the editing, but it's something we can walk through and see if we can manage to do the editing. Okay, I don't know if I should just add it onto this video so that we finish it at once, but basically if we went to, I'm just going to close all these ones. Okay, the data table now. If we just went to the item, okay, I was trying to do some of the things. The first thing is to create this in the page, the items page. This is the one that the data table, and in the data table you see that if you look in the data table, we are receiving the resource title. Okay, that's why you have to pass in this resource title, and we're using the resource title for the item to render the edit. So if you look here in the edit, we have the link, and in this link is taking to dashboard inventory, then it puts the resource title, for instance items, update, and then this. Okay, so it is telling us where the form for the update, where it is located. Okay, and after putting this, meaning that you have to create the update folder, and of course inside you put this ID. Okay, and it would look something like this. Inside the item, create the update folder, and then you put this ID, which is actually having a page. So inside here, if you check, is that we are using the we are still using the new item. Okay, and in the new item we are passing the initial data, and the update is true. And if you check onto this, we are getting the data, which is items ID. Now we will first get this the items ID, and this is a single item. So if I just go to confirm this, okay, if we have items, you can see how we have a lot of items. I can pick one single item like of this ID, copy this ID, and if you went to items, stock this item, you would be intending to fetch a single item. Okay, you're intending to fetch a single item, and you can see this item right here. And if you just go there to that item, let's see, if I just go to this API, so this one is handled by the API. Okay, if I go to items, I have to have this folder of the ID, and inside here I have route, and inside this route I haven't reached on edit yet, but I'm having this gate, and of course is of a specific ID we get from the params, and then I just get item where ID. Now if you wanted to still add, for instance, into this one, you want to show the categories or the category or the warehouse, you have to go ahead and also use the include key. Okay, you would still come and add the include. Okay, if you wanted to get that, you would pass in the include. Let's check how this include have been performed here in the route. Okay, so you include the category true, so I'm just going to come here. You can just include and you pass, for instance, warehouse. Okay, I could just say warehouse, and then you say true, as simple as that. And if you just go ahead and refresh, so this one now should give us the category including the warehouse details. Okay, so this is great if you want to get all this one. If you want to get the nested key, you pass in something like this. Okay, so cool. So we have this data for a single item actually being fetched. So going back to this, so this one is covered. We're having where is it? The item update. Is it up item? Yeah, I was just talking about for a single item is on the update. Here we are getting this data for a single item, and after getting it, we pass it to this new item where we have the initial data and the update. Now when you go to this new item, here is it, this one actually is using another component. Okay, it is using this another component. Okay, it is using another component. Now at this point, we what I think onto this one, the data that we are going to populate, we still pass it in here. Okay, because here we are passing in the initial ID, Okay, if you check, we are passing in this not data table, but here we are passing in this. Okay, here so you just pass in that the initial data to be an empty object, and then the second one you have is this update, and as we said, by default is going to be false. Okay, so this data we are passing in is not even being used at this point here, because here we are fetching, and then after fetching again we get this data and we pass in here. Okay, first of all, let's first work onto this header. We said if this is true, okay, you can first check for the is update. So if is update is true, okay, if this is true, then we have to change the title. Instead here we say instead of new item, we are going to say update item. Update item, else it is going to be new item. Cool. Then we have to pass in down also here, we have to pass in the initial data. Okay, we have to pass in the initial data here, initial data, and we also have to pass in the exact same thing is true. This is update, so you have to pass in also this one. Okay, we have to pass in is this one here, and in this case we are passing in to be true. Why can't we just like save true? It's not supposed to work. Okay, let me just check how did we pass it here. Okay, so yeah, it's okay, just pass it in the bracket just like that. So just pass here initial data is initial data and is update is true, just we pass this. So if we pass these ones, we have to go ahead and copy these exact ones, okay, and we pass them to this create item. Okay, so that means this create item on top of these ones, they are going to accept this. They are going to accept this initial data and the here the initial data and the update. Okay, so now that means we can still come here and we say that this is going to have default values, and the default value is going to be equal to the initial data. Okay, and this is what we discussed in a previous video. We said you pass default values in this use form hook, and then we have this one is update. We are going to simply use it on the form, okay, where we have the submit button. Okay, so just going to say if, okay, if, just going to do an if statement here, that if is update is true, if this is true, then we can show update item, updated item, else we are just going to show this item, and you just say new item. Okay, so that one sets up something, and if I go first of all refresh, so if I just first hover here, I first see that I'm rendering the right form. I'm just having here just like that, just edit, click on edit, and it should just open up the form. Okay, let's just see if it can open up the form. Did I click? Let's just click. Okay, so we have this the form. Okay, yeah, and the data is there. Okay, some is not there, like item quantity. I don't know if we had not specified, but most of the data is there. Okay, yep, yeah, the image we don't have. Okay, the image is we don't have right now, or we could put it in state. I don't know. If you go to this here, we could also populate this where we have this image URL. By default, we can just give it here to be having the initial data dot image. So you could just say initial data. Remember, this is an object dot image URL. Okay, we could have this, and of course by default, as you can see, it is an empty object. If there is nothing, then it should just remain nothing, but if it has something, then it should be having the image and then to render the image here. And this is cool, so you can see the image is actually there, so someone can actually simply change the image if they want. Okay, so that is cool. So the only now thing is to make sure that we can update. Okay, we can update this information. You can see how we are rendering the update image, update very nicely. So if you just go to this, there are some changes we have to make. Okay, onto this, more especially onto this if statement. Okay, so I'm just going to go to where I have already updated, for instance, the warehouse. You can go to any of these ones, it doesn't matter, all suppliers. Just go to the new page, and we can just get this if statement that is here. Okay, get this if statement, just copy this, and let's go to the create form where we are making this request. I'm just going to go down here and paste this if statement. So if is update is true, then we need to make a put request, else we make a post request. So I'm just going to transfer this this post request just like this, replace it with this, and then for this case here, I will first make this import this function from the libs. Set loading, we have API items. This is why we are sending the data. API items and then ID. Then we have the data. Then here we have the item, and then we have the redirect. So you have to create this redirect function, and I can also get the redirect function from this supplier here, which is as simple as this. Copy that and come here. On top here, you can just put this redirect. Okay, and after this redirect is to push inventory items. We want it to go to that. And next is we have to get this router. Okay, so just create that router. So on top here, I'm just going to say const router. Const router is equal to use router. Okay, use router from next navigation. Okay, just as simple as that. Okay, so now we should be able to send the data, I think, if everything is okay. Okay, because we get all this and we just have this stuff going on here. I don't know. Okay, so let's now go to this, see this API endpoint item, and we'll see this put request. I can just simply go to this API. So just go to the API, and we are looking for the item specifically in this endpoint of the ID, and we are done with the get. We need now this put. So we get the item data, and then we just get this. We have the ID. We are updating item at a specific ID, and then we pass in all this data. Okay, that one should be okay to perform. Now I'm just going to simply for instance, this is Samsung phone. I'm just going to add the key updated. Okay, you could just go and change some more things and see what happens. Like if you change the image, I'm very sure it will actually still change. Okay, have no doubt in that. Actually, just change it. You know what, just change it and put a new one, so that actually we see this in action very well. Okay, so let me just get another one, and I'm just going to put the weird one. There's just like a t-shirt or something that has nothing to do with the phone, so that we just confirm. Let me look at these images. I just need a small image. I just put this t-shirt and you see. So I'm just going to upload this one. Okay, so we still have this nice functionality done by the upload thing, and I uploaded a video about upload thing. Those ones who have not watched it, please, it is worth going through it. Okay, so we have the image uploaded right nicely, and let's just try to update. I'm just going to minimize here, and I'm just going to try to update. Guys, look at the responsive, guys. I like that. Okay, so just click on update, and then quantity is required. Okay, just say 100. Okay, for the you can see the validation is also there. And let's updating the item. Please wait, and we are waiting to see an item updated. Okay, so now we still have the problem of not updating, but if I refresh, it should now show the details of the new stuff. Okay, you can see Samsung phone updated, and we have the image also updated. So the data is updating. The only thing that we are still having is re-rendering this page, but I will just keep on researching. And by the way, if you have any solution to this problem, just simply comment what you think we can do. I'm thinking of this revalidate. I'm still looking for how I'm just going to use this revalidating thing. Revalidating, you can just look along also those lines. There is data fetching, and then you can revalidate. If you look here, we have data fetching, including the revalidate. So you can just go and read about this, and we'll see how we are going to fix this. We'll see. I'm still just like trying to read the documentation properly and get this one done. Okay, so that is cool. But we have right now a nice functionality moving on right now. We can update our products. We can do all this nice stuff. Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode. I think this episode is short and is on purpose. Please watch it and rewatch it so that you get this into your heads. And thank you so much those ones who have subscribed, who like the content. Please smash the like button, guys. Smash. If you are finding this content really nice, simply smash the like button so that the YouTube can promote the video and it reaches more people. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.